Gotowy na krypto worldwide. Jak widzimy, jesteśmy dzisiaj na Token 2049 w Londynie. Sceneria jest trochę inna niż w moim gdańskim biurze. Tak więc mamy dogadane parę ciekawych rozmów z projektami, z giełdami. I o tyle ciekawa sprawa jest taka, że patrząc na wykresy, na strony projektów, to po prostu widzimy to, co jest na ekranie. A dzisiaj będziemy mogli porozmawiać z osobami, które stworzyły właśnie to, co widzimy na ekranie oraz po prostu zauważyć to, czego na wykresach możemy nie zauważyć. Czyli pogadać z twórcami właśnie, zobaczyć, jakie oni mają podejście do rynku, do potencjalnych inwestorów właśnie do mnie, jak oni się zaprezentują na właśnie konferencjach takich, czy w ogóle umią mówić po angielsku, jaką mają wizję i plan, strategię osiągnięcia tej swojej wizji oraz celów. Tak więc chodźcie ze mną, zobaczymy, co tam na nas czeka. Ja jestem ciekaw, to jest moja pierwsza konferencja. Mam nadzieję, że jak najwięcej uda nam się wyciągnąć z tego wyjazdu. I co? Lecimy z tematem. Słuchajcie, wyszliśmy sobie na zewnątrz, jest ogrom osób, jest ogrom bardzo mocnych projektów. Już stąd widzę nawet Ripple oraz Chili's, CHZ. Postaram się pogadać z osobami z tych projektów. Zobaczymy, czy warto może inwestować nadal w nie. Wiem, że wielu z Was posiada ich tokeny, więc myślę, że warto dowiedzieć się, jak od wewnątrz wszystko tam działa. Od kulis oraz od perspektywy osób, które stoją za sukcesem lub może niedoszłym sukcesem. Zobaczymy. No i dajcie znać w komentarzach, co sądzicie o tych projektach, czy może Wasze zdanie się zmieniło na temat tych projektów, z którymi pogadamy zaraz, czy może chcielibyście zainwestować właśnie po tej rozmowie w jakieś projekty. Takie informacje będą dla mnie bardzo ważne. Ja właśnie jeżdżę na te konferencje, żeby wyciągnąć jak najwięcej informacji z nich dla mnie i dla Was zarówno. Tak więc śmiało lecimy dalej. I'm Polish. Okay, so here we are with David from Candy Club. What exactly is Candy Club? How would you describe it to like a newcomer to a crypto industry?
Yeah, so Candy Club is actually the first social gaming casino that's crypto first.
The very first?
Yeah, the first one. So we actually enable anybody to play with any altcoin or any free credits on our platform.
Okay, and your platform is like what utility does your platform use?
Yeah, so good question. So basically what we do is we partner with the projects and we allow them to give their community access to utility of their token, which means, hey, you have our token, go use it, and you can actually play live casino games, you can play a bunch of slot games, you can do sports betting, and this enabled for any of the token projects that we're partnered with, right? So they can bring in their communities and they can play all these games.
With any project?
Yeah, so basically right now we're focusing on BNB and Tron and any Ethereum chain, but eventually we'll have
the main ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so cool. I mean, I believe that many projects actually lack real utility.
Yes.
I mean, they sell promises, I think, but yeah, I like the idea that you're like actually delivering utility for some projects.
And the biggest thing was that, right? Our background is venture capital, and a lot of our portfolio companies, they didn't have money, they have communities, but they need traction, right? Their tokens haven't traded in 3 months. Yeah. They need life, right? And if you add this utility, it's amazing, and they can go to their communities like, hey guys, you can use this token, go entertain, go play, and it's a win-win for everybody, right?
So you basically help bring second life into some projects.
Exactly. Okay, and we did it because it's a way to like revive the projects, add utility, continue to engage with the community, and that's the whole point.
Okay, so do you only work with crypto projects or maybe some DAOs, some communities?
So basically anybody that has a community. It could be YouTubers, it could be NFT communities, exactly. It could be NFT communities. Anybody that has a community can partner with us and give access to their community to play. And they'll be partners for us as a profit sharing forever. And the big thing is we even have live casino feeds. We have slots, we can do sports betting for the World Cup. I mean, it's been really exciting for us to be able to offer that.
How will your project like survive? What do you get out of working with other projects? Like, what's your business model?
So the biggest thing is we actually have a win-win model. The projects don't have to put any money in. We actually self-funded this project. We funded it like $25 million to fund this project.
Self-funded, like
self-funded.
No VCs, no.
Well, we are a VC background, so we funded this project. Okay. And basically the idea is we did it to help our projects, but also everybody else's projects, right? To be able to have revenue streams. Okay. So how we're going to survive is, right now, obviously we're helping projects get through these tough times, but really social gaming is a booming industry. Like if you think of Zynga Poker, Tika Poker, these all had billion-dollar exits because people love playing for entertainment as well, right? So we think this trend is only going to continue, so we're just bringing it to the crypto space as well.
Cool. Okay, so let's use me as an example. I have a YouTube channel. I have a community of around 30,000 people. How can I use Candy Club to my advantage and to help my community maybe make some money?
So a couple of things. So one is you can just invite them to the platform and there's an affiliate program. You can actually have an affiliate program for yourself. You can have a sub-affiliate program for your community members. So basically they can also draw in members and they can have a tiered system.
Okay, and once they draw in members,
what the second thing is then they can come and play on it, right? And then what we do to also engage communities, for example, we can do tournaments. Like we can do a blackjack tournament for your channel and everybody's playing things. We're eventually going to, exactly. Our goal in phase 2 is we're going to roll out, for example, poker as well, and then you can play a poker tournament with your channel, and then maybe the champion goes and plays another channel. So there's a lot of really cool things we're doing in both like just entertainment, for free entertainment, and then competitions and friends lists. There's a lot of engagement as well.
Okay, yeah, it sounds so cool. I don't think I've seen anything like that. So all these games in the background, are they like ready to use or?
Yeah. So I mean, you can go on the platform right now. It's candyclub.io, and you'll see all the slot machines there. There's some blockchain games. You can check it out.
So
right
they're
now,
ready to use. It's not like a promise that one day there will be whole
That's
selection.
the beauty. Is a lot of people are raising money and trying to build a token. We said we don't have a token. We build it all out. We're not promising something. Well, it's already ready. We're just saying we invite you to join it and you can benefit from it. So
that sounds nice. Okay, thank you very much for your time, David.
Yeah, it was great meeting you.
I guess see you around.
Hey.
Słuchajcie, teraz będziemy iść na mainstage, posłuchamy CEOs jednych z największych projektów. Fantom, NEAR, DFINITY oraz parę innych, które zresztą zaraz zobaczycie. Jestem mega ciekaw, co mają do powiedzenia. Myślę, że warto słuchać CEOs, bo tak naprawdę w ten sposób ma się wgląd, w jaką stronę projekt może pójść, bo to właśnie CEO ciągnie projekt do przodu. Chodźcie ze mną.
What's your assessment of the state of, Web3 development today? Where are we? And what needs to be done? So,
hi everyone. This is Sandy Young, Managing Director of Europe at Ripple. I come from a payments background, MasterCard previous 5 years, HSBC before. And at Ripple, essentially what we do is we help companies move money in a more efficient way, faster, cheaper, transparent way across borders using crypto and blockchain technologies and eliminating the need for those standards to park capital around the world and therefore releasing a lot of capital and making things more efficient and allowing them to invest to grow their businesses. At Ripple, we are now a 10-year-old company in crypto space. That's a very long time, and we're very fortunate to have seen almost this evolution of the space and specifically payments use case coming from a kind of more hypothesis to piloting and really as a proven solution. So I'm really excited to talk a bit more later around how we see this and how that's been working out.
Hello everyone, I'm John V. I'm not an enterprise. I guess I'm the one consumer guy on the panel. So I run a company called Napster. Did anyone use Napster back in the day? Hey, it's still there. So this is a 21-year-old T-shirt. It has been washed in the last number of years. So I worked on Napster 21 years ago when I was at Bertelsmann. We lent them money and tried to get them to be legitimized, which would have killed Spotify and other ones, and the world would be different. But we were the original kind of decentralized Web3 brand before Web3 was a glint in anyone's eye. We were decentralized. It was all about empowering the creator and doing things differently. Anyway, so since then I worked in the music business and advertising and television and most recently at Roblox, and then joined Napster a few months ago. So we're trying to, as I heard from a lady, like blow shit up again in the music industry and change the model away from what's been a fairly, boring, non-exciting streaming industry for the last 20 years and empower the artist at the center of the experience and leveraging the best of Web3 silently in the background to bring this to the mass market away from kind of the shadows.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. So by way of introduction, just for me, so Yap Global, we're a PR agency that helps Web3, DeFi and crypto companies tell their stories. And so I'm looking at it on an angle of, what's, interesting in the space. Some of our clients are, DAOs like ENS domains. So they're like on the spectrum of Web3, trying to do it organically. So I'm going to be kind of learning from each of the panelists, today on where we're at, because the title of the panel is looking ahead. What are the challenges, and what are the opportunities that we see? So let's do a stock take. Let's start with.
On the future of protocols and how we can actually get to the mass adoption that we think we all believe in. Do you want to start with you, Yves?
Sure. First of all, I think it's a really good question because it's forward-facing, right? And it's really fitting with the theme. And before this, we were talking about kind of what, obviously, the events that are going on right now, how that comes into play. And one thing that stood out that a few of us mentioned is we're actually living in the future of the blockchain right now. We're seeing it as it's happening, and we're seeing events right now that are clearly impacting what will come tomorrow and what will come the next year and such. But one thing that we kind of all came down to as well is that tech side of things. And you had mentioned that a few years back, or some of us, we put the tech forward, it's the fastest, it's the highest throughput and such, and that's something that combines everybody. But outside of that, where's the future of blockchain? Outside of that, kind of where is the blockchain space going? And Michael and I were talking about, for example, one thing that he brought up was insurance layer. Just specific actual implementations or use cases that we believe at some point will become more inherent and start leveraging the blockchain stacks. And that was another thing, is this idea of a few years back, a lot of blockchain developers were trying to implement solutions that currently exist in the space. But more and more, the future that I see are people out there, Web 2 developers. It's traditional industry recognizing that blockchain can provide benefits and that tech stack and the inherent properties of blockchain. So they're now the ones leading the charge in terms of adopting the different protocols. Yeah. And so that's where I see the future. I see more of Web 2 starting to see the advantages of Web 3 and starting integrating it in their stacks.
What's your view, Michael, on that?
Yeah, I think when it comes down to getting mass adoption, it's really about two things. It's really about the underlying technology and the use cases, right? So when it comes down to the technology, we're at the stage where I think blockchain technology across the different blockchains that are out there can handle probably like a few million users on a daily basis. But the number of people who play a single game out there is more than a few million, right? So right now, the technology can't even handle like a few million users playing a game that are repeatedly sending transactions to the blockchain for confirming NFTs, as an example. So I think on the one hand, we need to have a lot more scalable technology out there, and that's just like a matter of like hard work, right? There's different ideas out there in terms of improving consensus, improving like what's known as middleware or the execution of smart contracts, or like execution using say zero knowledge proofs now is like a big discussion point. So one is technology, and I think technology will get more scalable and more efficient over time, and that's just like naturally how technology works. And number two is really like use cases, as my friend mentioned, like different use cases out there that are not just like not every use case needs to be on the blockchain, but there are some use cases that are really good for blockchain. Things like, for example, like gaming, being able to create NFTs to enhance the gaming experience. Things like P2P insurance, which you can only really do when it's a publicly open source blockchain, or even supply chain management, and of course there's DeFi as well. So I think when there's more use cases that use the blockchain technology and the technology gets more scalable, that's how we get mass adoption. And it's also just a matter of time, people learning about it. Adoption always takes a bit of time.
Yeah, but it's interesting. So far, it's a lot about we could swap any of the protocols that are under, and it would be still the same thing. So I guess, Lucian, maybe going back to this mass adoption, but also what's the difference between key protocols, right? So how do you see that?
Well, it's a very good question, because actually Elrond, we just announced last week, is transforming and is becoming MultiversX. So basically, we are no longer just a layer 1 blockchain. This is still our main focus, so we are still let's say, an infrastructure provider, but now what we want to do is also build the next infrastructure. And this is our vision that actually in the next few years and decades, metaverse is going to be the next big thing. And of course, it's a kind of different metaverse that there is out there, in the sense that we want this kind of metaverse to inherit the same principles when we talk about Web3 and blockchain. So it's not a metaverse built by one company. It's not actually the metaverse. It's actually like worlds of worlds, a network of metaverses where anyone can build their own thing. They are interoperable and stuff like that. And the idea here is that as blockchain, we see blockchain as like the fabric of reality. For us, if you are to build a meaningful metaverse, you need blockchain. So for us, a metaverse cannot exist without the blockchain, because you need ownership, because you need decentralization, you need different kind of business models. Well, not every, let's say, the network effect and all the benefits are captured in the center by a corporation for profit, but basically you have all those benefits. So for us, this is a very different approach. It's not a rebranding, it's more like a transformation, an evolution. And we believe by doing that actually is, I might say that the killer app of the blockchain is the metaverse. And the killer app of the metaverse is presence and not necessary immersion or realism. And this also comes from a very interesting insight is, as web is device agnostic, you can access it from any kind of the device. This is also our approach. The metaverse or the multiverse of these metaverses, the way we want to build it is so that can be accessed without any kind of device. Although immersion, VR, IR are really, really interesting and nice things that we at some point will want to integrate, we say that this is not the precondition for a metaverse. So I guess this is a pretty big use case, and it's not something that, I don't know, like DeFi was the cool thing, I don't know, 2 years ago. NFT was last year. Now it's something. This is something that it's for a very long time, as I said, the next few years and decades. I think metaverse and of course blockchain as the fabric of this kind of reality are very, very important.
Okay. Well, Dominic, I'm curious. So we are hearing metaverse, killer app presence. We're hearing gamify. We're hearing supply chain. What's your perspective on actually mass adoption and how we get there?
So I think the real challenge is a technical one. And it's not one that many people are aware of in the industry today. And today, when people say they're building on a blockchain XYZ, they don't mean they're building on blockchain XYZ, they mean they're building on the cloud, right? Mm-hmm. And then they just use the blockchain to store some tokens and NFTs. And for me, that's not what Web3 is about, okay? For me, Web3 really is about user ownership, user involvement, and things like that. You know, Web 1 was read. We just read content from web servers, as in the 1990s. 1996, 1997, there was that website, Hot or Not, right? And now users could upload their own content to the internet for other users to read. So that was Web 2. That was about write. So read, write, and Web3's own. And, you know, I think Web3 has obviously come out with a bang, and, you know, NFTs were very popular, and people were buying tokens to own art and things like that. But really, you know, Web3 is a much more profound thing. And really, you need to be able to run something like Facebook on the blockchain, under the control of a DAO. So you don't have a company and a CEO, and you can give governance tokens in the DAO that controls the social network to the users. And users can help with referring other users to make it grow more virally, and help with tasks like content moderation. So that's our belief, and you know, the DFINITY Foundation probably spent more time in R&D than any other organization in the history of crypto. You know, we started offering in 2015. The mainnet came out last year, May 21. And the Internet computer is a world computer, and people are building this kind of thing on the Internet computer now. Social media services that run 100% from the blockchain. So, we got even, mass market messaging services, which are growing rapidly, where smart contracts are processing individual chat messages and even the, image and video chats people send each other. And these smart contracts process HTTP. It's the only blockchain in the world where smart contracts can serve interactive web experiences. So you can decentralize everything end to end. And it's not just limited either to social media and things like that, metaverse, socialify, gamify, whatever. There's a huge range of things that benefit from full decentralization, running 100% on the blockchain. And for example, if you go to my Twitter feed, I think a few hours ago, I tweeted a link to a decentralized exchange that's under development that provides continuous double auction functionality, i.e. the same kind of functionality as FTX provides. But it's running 100% on the blockchain. The user experience is coming from the blockchain. The order book's on the blockchain. The order matching's on the blockchain. There's no cloud involved. It's something that looks like FTX, gives you the same functionality, but it runs 100% on the blockchain. And it's in beta, and those guys are going to assign control to a DAO, right? And so it'll run under the control of the community, and the community will push the updates, to the smart contracts. So that kind of thing, I mean, look how many users, centralized exchanges have. Enormous numbers of users, right? Well, imagine you can tell a user, hey, rather than trusting somebody to look after your assets and putting it on a centralized exchange, why don't you use this completely decentralized exchange that provides the same functionality? Yeah. So I don't think it's difficult. I think it's a technology problem. I think all blockchains have got to make efforts to pursue the world computer vision and redesign themselves using advanced cryptography so that they can host social networks, right? And imagine with a social network, imagine if you wanted to grow. It's not enough just to provide the same functionality. You've got to give users governance tokens so they own some of the social network, so they refer their friends, right? And it grows virally. You need teams of people to help with things like content moderation. So you can only do that if you're running on the blockchain. You can't do it if you're running on Amazon Web Services and you're just keeping a few tokens and NFTs on the blockchain. Yeah. That doesn't work. So everyone has to move towards this world computer model, and that's how we get mass adoption. And we're already seeing it in services that are running in that way now.
Okay. You mentioned.
Co za dzień. Tyle ludzi fajnych poznałem, ciekawych ludzików. Dużo tutaj jest naprawdę fajnych projektów. Pogadałem trochę z ludźmi z XRP, z Chili's. No powiem wam, że bardzo ciekawy dzionek. Zaraz będziemy lecieć na imprezkę, więc jeśli materiał z następnego dnia będzie nieco wolniejszy, to już mówię, że to będzie moja wina. Wory pod oczami możecie się spodziewać w następnym materiale, że będą z następnego dnia. Powiem wam, że tego rodzaju imprezki, konferencje właśnie, mega sprawa, tym bardziej właśnie w jakichś ciekawych miejscach jak Londyn. No można super ludzi poznać, sobie pogadać właśnie po angielsku, jeśli lubicie. Jest też wiele Polaków ogólnie, więcej niż myślałem, więc nawet jeśli ktoś ma jakieś tam wyzwanie z angielskim czy z innymi językami, to po polsku też da się dogadać z tutaj większością. Czy to jest dobra rzecz, czy zła, to już zależy od was. Polskie projekty mają swoją reputację taką, jaką mają. Ogólnie do takich stricte polskich projektów to nie wiem, czy są. Są ludzie bardziej w teamie projektów. Polacy słyszałem, że są dobrymi programistami i wiem, że wiele z tych projektów właśnie to wykorzystuje. Dobra, słuchajcie, jesteśmy teraz na afterze sponsorowanym przez OKX. Cieszę się, że tutaj mogę wylądować. Bardzo fajnie jest pogadać właśnie z ludźmi stojącymi za sukces giełdy OKX. Jest to największa giełda, więc czuję się trochę w takim ekskluzywnym gronie. Powiem wam, że mega fajnie pogadać właśnie z ludźmi, z inżynierami, z deweloperami, którzy tutaj właśnie pracują, żeby OKX się spinał, żeby wszystko śmigało. Powiem Wam, że teraz jako użytkownik Dobra, słuchajcie, musiałem tutaj aż wyjść z afterparty, bo po prostu to, co się dzieje na wykresach, to mi się wydaje, że może być historycznym po prostu momentem. Patrzcie tutaj na wykres, $16 000, przed chwilą było 15 800. Aktualnie mój long, przyznam, nie ma się najlepiej. Ja do niego dokładam, mam bardzo małą dźwignię 2x, 3x, skaczę między tymi dwoma właśnie metrykami i powiem Wam, że wierzę długoterminowo w Bitcoina. Wierzę, że to, co teraz widzimy, to jest naprawdę bardzo prawdopodobne, że to może być właśnie tworzący się dołek na naszych oczach. A takie okazje myślę, że bardzo rzadko się po prostu pojawiają, więc ja chcę wykorzystać, przynajmniej spróbować wykorzystać. Wolę spróbować, wolę wiedzieć, że spróbowałem, niż po prostu potem pukać się w głowę za jakiś czas, że mogłem kupić wtedy, mogłem zalongować wtedy, ale tego nie zrobiłem. To jest ryzykowna zagrywka, naprawdę uważajcie na siebie. Ja mam swoją już wyrobioną tolerancję do ryzyka. Czasami się na niej prześliznąłem, czasami nie. Czasami się opłaciło. Uważajcie na siebie naprawdę. Tak więc co ja robię w tym właśnie momencie, jeśli rzeczywiście kreuje nam się dołek? Tak jak mówiłem, wiecie już z moich poprzednich filmów, mam longa, nadal się go trzymam. Bardzo mała dźwignia, 2x, 3x. Myślę, że to może się opłacić bardzo ta rozgrywka. Nie polecam jej kopiować jakby co, to jest moja osobista strategia. Co jeszcze robię? Ja mam ustawione zlecenia w okolicach $15 000 na Bitcoinie. Ethereum oraz innych altów już nie kupuję. Kupiłem wczoraj, gdy Bitcoin był w okolicach $17 000. Wiele promocji wtedy było, ale teraz ja na razie ograniczam się do Bitcoina, ponieważ wierzę, że naprawdę dołek, który teraz widzimy, może być tym dołkiem, o którym będzie się mówić w następujących miesiącach lub nawet latach.
Oh, clever, clever. Yeah.
Hello. For the BitGet party? Igor Kos. No dobra, słuchajcie, przenieśliśmy się z imprezy OKX na imprezę BitGet. Powiem Wam, że miejscówka jest o wiele bardziej z rozmachem przygotowana. Wszędzie ochroniarze i w ogóle tutaj ledwo udało nam się coś nagrać. Powiem Wam, że pogadałem z paroma naprawdę wpływowymi osobami właśnie dookoła BitGet, jak i w całej branży krypto. I powiem Wam, że teraz tym bardziej jakby czuję większe zaufanie, jak i po prostu potencjał tej branży, gdy wiem, jacy ludzie stoją za tym po prostu, z czym obcujemy na co dzień. Nie tylko z giełdą, ale z projektami, deweloperzy, jak i ludzie od marketingu oraz od strategii całej giełdy. Powiem Wam, że jest na co czekać. Słuchajcie, jest nowy dzień, nowi ludzie do poznania, nowe doświadczenia do doświadczenia. Jestem mega ciekaw, co drugi dzień przyniesie. Trochę przyznam, poturbowany jestem po wczorajszym dniu, jednak imprezka u BitGeta i OKX była udana. Ciekaw jestem, co dzisiejszy dzień przyniesie. Chodźcie ze mną i zobaczymy, co tam się będzie działo na konferencji drugiego dnia. No to jesteśmy na drugim dniu konferencji Token 2049. Jak widać, brytyjska pogoda jak najbardziej tutaj w miarę sprzyja. Trochę wieje, trochę popadało. No tutaj podjechaliśmy sobie, jak widać, i zobaczymy, co dzisiaj nas zaskoczy w środku. basically getting bigger and bigger, even though we are in a bear market. As you can see, people are still building and building something major, I think. So this launchpad, are you maybe planning on listing some new tokens, new projects there? And if I may ask, what kind of projects those will be?
So we have the launchpad since I think it's 1 year since it's live. We already have 4 projects getting listed there. For example, the first project, the very interesting one, was Holoride. They are a spin-off startup from Audi. They just announced yesterday that now basically they are building, let's say, the Multiverse of the future. Basically, they are building actually a piece of hardware. They are like some Google goggles or something like that.
Those Oculus VR goggles.
Yeah. And the thing is, every time you are not driving, but every time you are not driving, you have some you are just not doing anything.
Okay.
And what they are building is basically, it's like augmented reality. Depending on the speed of the car, depending where you are, you basically can watch a movie or play some games. That all depends on all those factors, where we are, how the car is moving.
It's interesting.
It's,
very creative.
very interesting. So this was our first launchpad. Then we have another project that is building like data, like being able to move your identity between different worlds or metaverse or between different providers. They are building the infrastructures for that. It's something they call NFT. It's like, think about your identity that is mined right now by Google, by Facebook, and they make money
they have
based
like
on this
own digital persona of me, like everything that I've liked, that I've shared, pictures that I've sent to some people in different scenarios, let's say.
So they are building this kind of infrastructure so that you can very easily, for all the builders, developers, startup projects, in order to be able to capture this kind of data, but still the user being control of this. Then there was actually a game. Then the funny thing is, this game is live. They just launched like one week ago, so it's not like this kind of launchpad. We're gonna raise this money, and in 2 years you're gonna see what we are building. This is live, and they have a very, very interesting approach. The nice thing is they are live on iOS, Android, and PC. It's a play to earn and free to play kind of game. So they are mixing two kind of concepts here. I'm just going to give an example. You can have your character tied to NFT, and once you have this, you can start earning some real rewards inside a game. But for example, if you don't want to play this game, there is a land marketplace, and you can give that your NFT without losing your ownership, can land it there, someone else play with it, and then you do like a rev share between. And then you can find people, think about it like Formula 1 monopost, where you can find players that are really, really good, and you can have an NFT that is level 99, is legendary, very good, but you give it to someone that is better than you playing, and you both make money out of it. So it's a very interesting concept. And there are other projects. One we just announced last week, the next launchpad. So everyone is interested in our community. MyLaunchpad.com, that is also rebranding in xlaunchpad.com. Probably in the next few weeks, the next one project is coming there. They are on the DeFi. They are building a DeFi product. It's going to be the first landing protocol on MultiversX, and also one of the first stable coins natively built on top of our blockchain. So it might be very interesting.
Let's say there's a new person in crypto. This person knows what Bitcoin is, what Ethereum is, and then he stumbles upon MultiversX. What is the most important aspects that a new person in the crypto world should know about?
Well, it's very easy to get on board with us. We do have this Maya wallet that is becoming X portal. That is very easy to. We have on-ramp, off-ramp. Just creating an account there is very easy. Everything is tied up to your phone, so we don't start with, I don't know, keep making a backup of your, recovery phrase and stuff like that. It's very easy to use, so it's very easy to get exposed and understand. all the other features, since we are a proof of stake blockchain, so staking and everything can be done through this app, so you don't have to go with an extension, get your ledger. Although, of course, it's all the other options are available. So I would say getting to onboard it with us is very, very easy because we'll.
Okay. So in terms of user experience, you're like very beginner-centric. It's like for everybody.
Yeah, and through this app, you can then log into any other third party. For example, NFT marketplace is built by our community. It's very easy to just log in there just with your app, so you don't have to think about too much. How am I gonna? Can I trust those guys or not? You are in full control, and everything is done through your phone. So this is very important at the beginning. Of course, once you get more knowledgeable, you might want for, I don't know, to use maybe cold wallet or more other options. Although I believe for the vast majority, non-custodial wallet with all these functions there, it's good enough for all those.
Okay.
And then this is really, really fast. Is all the transactions on Elrond are.
This is something tens of thousands of TPS.
But this is not very relevant if you are first-time blockchain users. You don't.
Yeah,
know
you're only making tens of thousands of transactions per second.
Yeah, you don't know that Bitcoin is slow or Ethereum. The gas fee, you might pay a few dollars for a transaction or tens of dollars. This is not very relevant. This is relevant only after you start discovering. So that's why I didn't put that there.
Okay.
But once you test others, you'll see, well, but here it's very, very easy. For example, one very nice things with the app, you basically, if your contacts are also on are sending crypto, and not only on Elrond, because this is by the way, exported, and Maya wallets is like multi-chain wallet. So we support Bitcoin, we do support Ethereum.
Nice.
You just click on your contact and you just send there without knowing the address and stuff like that. So it's very, very easy to use.
So cool, so cool. So you are the co-founder, right, of the MultiversX. Well, if you were to put like in a few short sentences your main vision when you were starting this project, when you were co-founding this project, what's like the vision, maybe your end goal, if there is any?
So the beginning, when we started, the vision was to create a 1000x more scalable blockchain. Okay. So this was our vision, and I think we managed.
So yeah, you did it. So now you are.
Of course, there are still a lot of things to improve there, and we are working there. So this was the initial vision. Now what we want with MultiversX is basically it's to, let's say, actually build not the future of, how we say, it's not like building the future of the internet, but it's, let's say, the future of human experience. Because basically we say that metaverse basically it's predates technology and internet. There always been these other worlds. When you think about religion, art, culture, music, books, there always this idea that there is something there that we need to explain.
Something super, something different. I mean, yeah, I think people like sometimes just need a break from like their everyday life, from everyday like hustles, their work, anything. And yeah, metaverse may be like the next big step. And like you said, books, drawing, even activities like that, they all lead to actual metaverses. Okay. Here we have Zero from what project?
Yes.
What project?
But actually we are from Pango by Canal, and we are funded by the Sandbox, and we are the
Funded by Sandbox.
Funded by the Sandbox.
The Sandbox.
Oh, the Sandbox is correct. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
And the other reasons are we are the Metaverse agency and Metaverse builder. We are building a lot of gaming experience inside the Sandbox, and then we are trying to do a lot of Metaverse and on-offline services. I think everyone should know the Sandbox, and then we think a lot of clients to buy the land, and they don't know how to build a great project or the experience inside. And they always to merge on, maybe it's just for the gaming, but actually absolutely is not, because you can immersion, you have an empty places, you can build what you want. maybe you can give me the wish list, maybe we can build an amazing project for you.
So cool. So you said about offline services bringing into the metaverse. I mean, metaverse is quite like digital stuff. So offline is just, I don't know, how does it work?
Basically, this is a good question because if you build something experience in the sandbox, right? And then how to benefit the on-offline services. Because you may imagine we have a great showcase is we find 200 students to create the voxel ukulele. And then to mint to the NFT, and then they put in the sandbox. So that can benefit them to, maybe you buy the NFT, you can get the physical ukulele in the real world. And the other way is maybe you can drive some student or the family because you can test some photo, maybe, oh, this is my son to create the NFT, so that the screen cap and share the post and then you can get the NFT or what you want.
Okay, it's like a different world. It's so cool. I mean, the whole like metaverse industry.
Yeah.
I mean, you're literally creating another world and making it like not only livable but also entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, so cool. But basically, Sandbox is like very, I don't want to say like Minecraft-like, but I believe, I mean, it's my own personal opinion, that like future metaverses will heavily rely on realism. But also I don't exclude the option that there will be like a few main metaverses. Some will be more like cartoony, some will be more like blocky. Like how do you maybe see the future of metaverse and the Pangu role in it?
Yeah, but basically I don't think the metaverse is just limited for the AR or the VR or some technology, because in my personal thinking about, I think the metaverse is like the social media platform. Maybe the next generation is very love it because the metaverse can create a pay and earn, so that you can earn some token or NFT or some utility. Maybe you can benefit in the offline services. And the other way is the metaverse is quite easy to into that way. And the other way is maybe you can see that it's not just limited to reach the next generation and benefit to the corporate can. And the other way is might be the individual people. Maybe I buy the land and I build what I want, and people create or can earn some token or earn you want. Maybe you can see the things as I think no one to load to work 12 hours or something kind of that. But actually the next generation maybe not want to go to work, maybe can stay at home, and then maybe you can see a lot of corporate companies start from 4-day work. And the other ways, maybe the next generation just can sit in the room or the house, and then they can earn what they want, or they can earn the money or earn some what they want. Yeah. And then you can see them maybe in the future can link with the e-commerce. I think the metaverse and e-commerce and on-offline, I think it's an awesome combination. Awesome
e-commerce and metaverse is like the subject for upcoming years and decades, I guess.
Yes. So that I don't think it's just only, I think if the metaverse can get more the functionality with the AR or something, some kind of technology, is awesome. But actually this way, because I think we are the Web 2.0 and moving to 2.5, and the last way might be the next year is 3.0, and then we are just to the transparency, the period of the Web 3.
Okay, yeah, that's so interesting. It's like kind of a vague subject because there's like so many points that we could cover here. But like to keep it short, what do you think are main maybe obstacles of metaverse adoption in like real life and actual utility of using it? I mean, why some people should engage in metaverse activities and with using Pangu, for example?
Basically because we have we started as 11 months in this year, and then we have 4 locations, and just like China, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Singapore. So then we are growing very fast, and because all the corporate clients very support the metaverse, and very important platform is the Sandbox. And the other ways is maybe you can see the future, they just not limited to benefit the clients and maybe the user, maybe the platform. Maybe can the maybe it's a decentralized, I think so. I think it's a great project, maybe on the Web3, NFT, or the Metaverse can combine together. I think it's the same because it's based on the cryptocurrency, right? Yeah. Yes, so that I think it can combine and do more collaboration with another industry, so that may benefit the reality and then to name with the Metaverse. I think it's quite important. Is the next big topic or the big issue in the next few years.
Yeah, so cool. So you're basically focusing mainly on Asian markets at the moment, or are you expanding?
Of course not, because we are in London right now. Yeah. So that we are also is a globalized company. Because our project is not limited in the Hong Kong. We have a lot of projects in Hong Kong, Taiwan, USA, and Japan, or Paris, etc. So that we are looking for some different regional or some kind of different culture to collaboration or to work together.
Okay, so you were founded by Sandbox. Do you have maybe some other like strategic partnerships that you can first talk about and that some people that are watching it may know about?
Yeah, basically we are not partnership with the Sandbox. We are funded by them. Yeah, it's very, very important by that. And the other ways is I forgot the question because it's very important.
True. Okay, so some strategic partners, like who else are you partnered with just to make this thing a reality?
We have a lot of clients excited for the NDA.
Main ones.
But actually, if you can see the screen for our teaser, we have making the teaser of the Standard Charter, Night Chain Wonderland, or yeah, it's a Standard Charter. And the brain is a VC, so that we have a lot of clients is from banking, finance, and insurance. And the other tier is the FMCG, the development stage, so that we can't discuss a lot of project or the branding. Okay. Yeah, but I think you will feel interest because Pango have a field. Maybe have a 4 and 5 gaming in the Sandbox will launch in the early next quarter. So that I think there's the Meta Hollywood is one. Maybe you can see the Terminator or some kind of the famous character inside. So that I think is you can rate it as follow the Pango so that you can see more great campaign.
Yeah. It's awesome, awesome. I like what I'm hearing here. Yeah. Also, one last question. What you are saying is basically kind of like high tech. So I guess you have like mostly in your team developers, or like how would you say your team consists of? What type of employees, I guess? Like maybe developers, like marketing guys? Yeah. Kind of like that?
Exactly. I think it's a very great question. Because we are not only to do the land development, and that's why we are the Metaverse agency, because we provide the Metaverse and one-stop solution. For example, we build something to experience in the Sandbox, right? And the other way is we really try to through the live streaming and Discord management or to provide the gaming. And we may set up the QR code or we can't discuss that, but actually we have a lot of gaming to do the QR code. Maybe you experience the game and then to jam the code and then you scan it to the Web 2. And the landing page, just like the landing page, is very easy to understand it. And then maybe you can fill in what you want or the data or some kind of what you think. And then you can get the souvenir or the membership or some kind of the Web 2 or the offline campaign. So that we provide it based on the client brief, and then we provide a total solution for that.
Okay. Yeah. So cool. So like finishing our conversation here. Yes. One last thing, like. As a total newcomer into a person starting their cryptocurrency journey and blockchain technology, what would be like the first couple points that you would say them to be interested in Pango?
Yeah, I think it's a winter stage. I think it's have some effect to the Pango or the Sandbox. But actually, I think it's just have a few weeks the period. I think can settle down everything, because you may see this the cryptocurrency maybe have a fluctuates, and then maybe you can have. But actually, the Sandbox is to buy the land. Maybe the crypto is down. A lot of investors want to invest the Sandbox, and then a lot of clients want to explore and build the land. So that I think the the effect is not very big for us or for the Sandbox.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this conversation.
Hope everything is answered for you and is more understanding what we did.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Adam, let's talk about EOS, right?
Let's do it.
So, around $4 billion at the ICO.
Yes.
I think it was one of the records, I think.
I think it still is the record. I think it was the world's largest ICO. That ran from 2017 and then the token went live in 2018.
Yeah, it was like very hot subject then.
Certainly was.
But
certainly
still,
was.
Like many projects that had their ICOs and they made like impossible amounts of money almost. I mean, they are dead. They are dead at the moment.
Yep.
So I have a question for you. What differentiates EOS and why is it still here and other projects are basically dead? They're on the ground.
These are all very good questions, and I suppose it's important to talk about the history. So since that 4 billion ICO, a lot has happened, okay?
True,
so the original founders essentially had promised to reinvest a lot of the capital back into the community.
Okay.
And unfortunately, for a number of reasons, that didn't happen. So EOS went through years of, I'm gonna almost say turmoil, where we really wanted to get this funding to be able to grow the ecosystem, grow the community, and it never happened. So what happened just last year was the EOS Network Foundation was founded. So this is the first time that EOS basically, as a community, came together and elected the foundation to basically take the network forward. So to answer your question about what differentiates EOS, I think despite all of what has happened in terms of the history, the tech speaks for itself. EOS is a very fast blockchain, it's very secure, and it's capable of applications that are really ready for scale.
Okay, so basically product defends itself and its utilities.
Yeah, I think the technology and the stack, the way that it's architected, I think the accounts and permission structure with EOS is such that you really are able to launch very good applications.
Okay. And I don't think there were like significant like bad things happening around EOS. I mean, Solana recently is just a few things are happening there.
Sure.
Like blockchains are being halted, even BSC.
Yeah.
But with EOS, I don't think there was anything like that.
No, so there's been pretty much zero downtime on EOS since the start, right? So since 2018, again, because of the way the network is architected with various different infrastructure providers all around the world, there's been no downtime on the network. I'm not going to say EOS has not had problems. As I mentioned, there's been a...
It would be weird if it hadn't had any problems.
There's been
challenges are part of the way, I guess.
You're totally right, and it's been a turbulent history in terms of you always had the community really asking for this support, and it never got it. And it's only in the past year that the ENF is able to provide those supports. And that's in the form of not only financial support, but also actually taking the network and filling the gaps that were there left by the founders.
Nice.
So that needs to be done.
Okay, and I've seen behind you that you will be partnering with Shopify and some other e-commerce sites. Like, how will that work? I mean, there are quite substantial like strategic partners, and they're like working in almost every country.
Sure, I think what you're referring to is a product called WordProof. So WordProof essentially is a way for you to be able to timestamp information onto the blockchain. They've got partnerships with Yoast. They basically, with a lot of the CMSs, they're able to timestamp content onto the EOS blockchain. I believe they've a couple of thousand customers. They've gotten support from the European Commission. So this is really one of the key projects that uses the EOS software, and that's why we're showcasing it today. So check out wordproof.io.
Okay, you better do. Okay, so let's say there's a new person coming into crypto and they have like a general idea what Bitcoin is, what Ethereum is, and then there's EOS, top 50 at the moment. What should like a new person know about EOS?
Sure, well, it's a good question. I think without giving financial advice, I think definitely look into how, as I said, the network is architected, how it's capable to build these very large applications at scale, right? EOS is capable of up to 10,000 transactions per second and maybe even more than that. There's also 0.5 second block times, so it's very, very quick. So that means that it's really useful for applications that require a lot of throughput. So you could be thinking about gaming applications, financial services, payments, all of these things. Really, EOS and the EOS-based blockchains are perfectly suited. So anybody who's new to the space, I'd invite you to take a look at what the ENF is doing. I'd invite you to take a look at also some of the other chains that use the same technology. There's a blockchain called WAX, W-A-X, maybe you're familiar.
Yeah,
WAX is very common for NFT projects, and it's hugely, I'm not sure what way to say it, but it's one of the most widely used NFT chains. So that's one I would certainly check out. But also, as I said, have a look at what the developments that are happening in the ENF, because they've basically hired teams from all around the world, different working groups, and they're going to be building the new wallet infrastructure, new APIs, and just recently they've announced a new venture fund, so EOS Network Ventures, which is going to be trying to bring new projects into the ecosystem.
Nice, nice. So I guess you guys aren't bored, you are hardworking, and all those challenges that you had in the past basically made you the hard competitor on the market. Yeah,
I think you're right.
I like stories like that. not like going easy there, you know, couple billions there, and just going straight for it. But now you have like a real history, like striving for, I guess, better utilities, for better partnerships, and like actual use cases.
Yes.
And I think that's what may differentiate your project, EOS, from many other projects, which are basically selling promises on like very hot bull market. But here we are in the bear market. EOS is here. I mean,
EOS is here, and hopefully EOS is here to stay. As I said, it's been a difficult history in terms of what's happened with the original founding teams, but I'm so excited about what's now happening with the foundation, what's happening with new teams from around the world, such as Zizan, such as other teams that are being empowered to be able to deploy projects on the network. So hopefully the future is bright for EOS.
Sure, of course. Also, one more question, last question. Next few months, do you have like anything significant planned that you can talk about in front of camera here?
Yeah, thanks. So again, as I mentioned, please check out some of the work that's being done by the ENF in terms of the various working groups. So there is, for example, a working group called Yield Plus. Yield Plus is trying to attract new DeFi projects and essentially give them enhanced rewards for locking their tokens on the network. So for your TVL, you get rewards. There's also a great initiative called Recover Plus, which is essentially an insurance layer that sits on the network. I mentioned already the EOS Network Ventures, the venture capital fund. That is also coming. And you're also going to see us at all the major events. So thankfully, we at Zizan have been tasked to do all the major events around Europe and the Middle East. So we're pretty tired at the moment. We've been around
I get it.
Dubai, Lisbon, Amsterdam, Dublin, Belfast. We've been really all around.
You guys
the place.
are going global.
Yeah, we've been on a road show.
Yeah, so cool.
And I'm looking forward to it next year. So please do keep up to date on what's happening with the EOS Network, what's happening with the EOS Network Foundation. And let's hope, as I say, fingers crossed, the future looks bright.
Okay, thank you so much for this talk, man.
Thank you very much.
Have fun on this conference.
Thank you.
Dobra, tak więc pogadaliśmy sobie z CEO, z co-founderami, z osobami z tych projektów, które widzieliście przed chwilą. I ogólnie no, warto brać to, co oni mówią, tak z nieco szczyptą soli, nie wiem, czy to się mówi, with a grain of salt. Po angielsku już mi tutaj widzę, angielski wchodzi bardziej naturalnie. Ogólnie to jakby, no, trzeba pamiętać, że oni są tutaj, żeby sprzedawać swoją wizję. Dlatego po prostu nie dajcie się tak ponieść do końca temu, co oni mówią. No jakby warto wejść na ich stronkę, rzeczywiście przeklikać sobie, co tam jest, co działa, co nie działa. Pamiętajmy też, że jesteśmy w Bessie, możliwe, że nawet w dołku Bessy, a te projekty, co są tutaj, to myślę, że jest tutaj szansa, jest tutaj potencjał, żeby traktować je długoterminowo. Jak zapewne wiecie, ja na konferencję nie jeździłem w trakcie hossy, to jest moja pierwsza konferencja swoją drogą. Myślę, że projekty, które bardzo hypują, bardzo lecą w marketing właśnie w trakcie rozgrzanej hossy, to da się na nich ugrać naprawdę fajne wyniki, to nie mówię, że nie, ale tak patrząc krótkoterminowo. Oczywiście są projekty, które długoterminowo dadzą tam przyjemne wyniki zrobić, które tam się pokazują bardziej na hossie, bo po prostu łatwiej kapitał zebrać w takim okresie czasu niż takim jak teraz. Więc to po prostu tym bardziej pokazuje, że te projekty, które tutaj są, z którymi gadaliśmy, są myślę, że takie bardziej zdeterminowane, żeby nie tylko przeżyć, ale coś po prostu ugrać więcej dla siebie niż po prostu zebrać kasę i uciec. Co o tym myślicie? Dajcie znać w komentarzu tutaj poniżej. Jeśli podzielacie moje zdanie, to super, a jeśli nie, to dajcie znać w ogóle, jakie jest wasze podejście do projektów w bezsie, takich hossie, bo one się naprawdę bardzo znacząco różnią.